Are you introducing this one then?
I can do. I need your little script though. Or can you just send me it quick so I can...
You mean the thing that I sent you this morning?
Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah.
Did you send it me this morning?
I did, yeah. You read it and then didn't reply.
It's rich coming from you.
Wow!
So hello and welcome back to Junctions and Stuff. Today we are here for episode 3. I can't believe it already. And we are talking about the Storytellers in tonight's episode.
We are tonight's episode. Have you gone Watson late night here?
Absolutely. I'm loving the reverb.
Yeah.
It's great.
It does sound good. I have cranked our bass up a little bit so we sound even better.
See, we're recording at nearly 11 o'clock at night, so we're sort of getting into the mood.
Yeah, we are. I'm also contemplating the fact that I said I would be home at the latest of midnight.
Good luck.
If I left now, I would get home at midnight. And we haven't even recorded episode 3 yet, so...
And episode 3 is looking like an interesting one.
It is, yeah. So, the Storytellers. Tell me more.
So in this episode, we're going to discuss what is the best way to create a story for our layouts.
Yeah. I suppose before we dive too much into that, we should probably just think about what we mean by a story for our layout. But also it's a good time to remember to thank our sponsors, Accurascale.
Which is lucky because we were about to go straight into it.
We were. But do you know what I did? I went to put my phone down and I went to put it down on because there's nothing to put your phone down on in this room apart from Accurascale boxes. So I turned around and saw an Accurascale logo. I was like, yeah. But no, seriously, thank you to Accurascale for sponsoring this.
It's very nice to have the support of an industry leader for an industry-leading podcast.
Wow.
That's a bit strong for episode 3 of a pilot, isn't it? Deary me.
Episode 3 and it's industry-leading. Jeez. Does that mean we're knocking rail people down a peg or two?
Yeah.
Oh.
Because it features you.
Yeah.
You can't get much better.
Wow. There's some smoke being blown right now.
The things I do for discount.
Yeah, exactly. I'll bring you a free leaf next time.
Thank you.
So what do we mean by story when we're talking about layout? I guess this is something I've spoken about in the first couple episodes a little bit in the sense of if you just put some track down on a piece of board, then you've got a model railway layout, but you haven't got a story.
What are we trying to show when we model?
It comes back to the past discussion, really, doesn't it, of realism and all that kind of stuff. But it's not that. We want to... I remember when I first built a roundy layout, and... my partner, bless her, took a look and said, "It's very nice, but it just goes round in a circle." What does that mean? Yeah, there's no towns that's just got a railway that goes round in a circle. And she was right to a certain extent, but then I was able to say, "Well, no, this part of the layout is this does that, this flows into there to represent that," and I was able to tell her the story of it and what it represented.
Meanwhile, I'd have been packing her bags.
She does too much for me to pack her bags. Notice how I suck up and you don't.
Well, I don't think mine will be listening to episode 3.
Well, no, not after episode 1, where you said the best bit is getting away from the wife and kids. That's what I mean by story is everything that goes around the track. So everything that turns it from just some track on a bit of wood into a scene, into something from your imagination. It doesn't have to be real. It doesn't have to be realistic. Not to dredge up old ground of the last episode, but it doesn't have to be, you know. But it does have a story.
And I think nostalgia plays a huge part in this hobby as well. And I think whether it's memory of happy times or maybe our recognition of older events or periods in time are happier. I don't know. But
I don't know. Because last time I came here, you and I had a discussion. You might not even remember it, but we were stood over there, which is really useful for a podcast.
Handy.
I'm pointing over there.
You could be pointing anywhere right now.
I could be. But you know where I'm talking about. We were talking over there, which for New Junction fans, we were talking over by...
the non-seeded side of the layout.
Yeah, we were talking over by the station, right? And
we were at Thirsk having a conversation.
We were thirsty. And I was talking to you about your role at Accurascale and learning more about Accurascale as a brand. But then I was asking you questions about how soon after a loco comes into real life, is it going to be a successful model? Because generally speaking, most people model in the past in some way, shape or form, don't they? So, yeah, I think that the whole conversation, because we'd just been to Greatest Gathering that weekend, hadn't we? And I'd seen the class 93, and there was
99.
99 was there as well. Thank you.
And then lots of the other current stuff like 90s and 66s were having new liveries, new names.
Yeah, but you take a 93, for example, you know, when is the right time to bring that into production as a model manufacturer? Because, you know, when is there going to be interest in it? 25 years' time?
No, I think as soon as they get put to work, you can replicate it.
But you're not going to sell it in the same volume as you would do something that's 30, 40 years old, or is that an assumption on my behalf?
Yeah, I think so. I think it depends on the prototype. Like a 93 and 99, I think would do very well because they're, in theory, lined up to be the next class 66.
Right.
So they'll be everywhere locos of the future.
Yeah.
But if it was something obsolete, a shunter that worked in a power station here, there, and whatnot, you probably wouldn't have the same effect.
Yeah. Yeah. But I suppose I was coming back to the nostalgia side of things. It is quite a nostalgic hobby, isn't it? And I've talked before about my love for all things toothpaste, because that's what I grew up around. Was, if I wanted to go into London from Chelmsford, then it would be some toothpaste I'd climb on, and it would be a slam door as well when I was first travelling. So that's my nostalgia, and I guess when you're younger and everything like that, I suppose I am looking back with rose-tinted glasses a little bit at it. So I'd want to model that.
I suppose it's like New Junction because it comes from my historic experience of the East Coast Main Line when I was smaller. But then, in the same breath, I don't have any GNER stock. It's all current day East Coast Main Line, but. So that's nostalgia versus the collector in me that wants the latest liveries, the latest colours.
So you prefer the very new modern image, but like latest modern image?
Yes, I'm a sucker for, if I've seen it, I want it.
Okay, yeah.
So if a 91 goes past me, I need a 91 from Hornby, for example. Just because I've seen it or been on it. It's a great excuse for a heritage line because you travel behind so many items of rolling stock. But it just takes you back to that pleasant afternoon on a railway.
Yeah. And
that goes back to the escapism we mentioned in the previous episode.
It does, yeah. So the story of New Junction is part nostalgia, part modern day.
Yes, so originally, for those who don't know, the idea... So when I was knee-high, I used to live in Newcastle upon Tyne, and we used to travel down to see family in Leicestershire. And of course, we used to come down the East Coast Main Line.
Yeah.
And I was on the HSTs, the 91s, etc. You see all that nice stock. And it left an imprint on me. We used to go into York and see the museum as well.
Yeah.
So, no, it's very happy memories of that. Rightly or wrongly, the railway is probably in a mess at the time, but you didn't know when you were young.
No, you were just taken over by the excitement of riding on a train.
Mm-hmm. And that's where it sort of, the passion for it came about.
Yeah. So you decided to model that line, but why do you think you lean more towards the modern stuff? I mean, I know you've got a 91 over there,
but it's as current as you can get.
Yeah.
Ready to run LNER livery. I think that is probably more the collector in me, because I mean, modern day stock. There's so many new and exciting liveries that manufacturers basically just can't keep up with. So if someone decides to repaint one or do a one-off here and there, it's very nice to collect them. Collectible skittles, as I call them at work.
Yeah. So, yeah, like we said, it's part nostalgia, part modern times for you. That's the story around it. But why the heritage line? What's the story there?
So I suppose the heritage line came about because, I mean, one thing, there's with a roundy, particularly modern image, there's not much in terms of movements you can do, even with such a grand space of 28 foot of scenic room. The trains are too long and they're designed, or they're best left just to run round, basically. You may be able to start and stop at a signal or a station. But with the heritage line, you have so many more movements and therefore play value. It just lends itself to being a good addition to a fast mainline based layout. Rightly or wrongly, but and of course visiting heritage lines, again, it gives me something else to collect because the locos I have are locos I've been behind.
And you're not short of heritage lines in this area, are you?
Oh no, there's I mean, luckily being based in the Midlands, you've got you're not far from sort of the Great Central, of course. There's two of them, the Battlefield Line. You've got the Nene Valley, things like that, and you're not too far from even the Severn Valley or North Yorkshire Moors. You're quite well placed. Yep. With an hour or two's drive.
Yeah, I mean, I think we spoke about this before, but I'm fairly fortunate where I am as well. I've got the Churnet Valley on the doorstep. I've got Foxfield on the doorstep. There's Amerton, not that far away. I mean, Stapfold isn't even a crazy distance.
I forgot about Stapfold, actually.
Same county. But I'll tell you one place I do love visiting. Have you ever been to, I'm going to say it wrong.
Thomas Land at Drayton Manor?
No, I could have said that one. Have you ever been to Crick or Crike Tramway Village?
I've not.
Have you not?
I've never been. I've always been past it. I mean, we were saying this earlier off the podcast. I used to have motorcycles for many years.
Yes.
So I used to drive past it to go to Matlock Bath.
Yes.
Which is a biker haven.
It is, yeah. And we love a trip to Matlock Bath.
And I never went to Crich, I thought it was.
I don't know.
But
Crich, Crike,
Tramway Village.
Crack. No, not crack.
I don't know where you're travelling.
Not at any speed, trust me.
But, I mean, I've been to Peak Rail, for example.
Yeah.
Just down the road. But, never Crich.
Well,
I'm going to die on that hill.
Crich. Let's go with Crich for now, if I can manage to say that. I'll tell you what, you and I should go to Crich at some point and have a look. Because I've been meaning to go there for a long time. I went there, but we're probably talking 30 years ago now. So it would be interesting to go. I know that they've got a Blackpool tram there as well.
Have they?
Yeah. And it's fantastic. I love something like that. So I guess when we talk about stories around layouts, I'm always thinking scenic. So your main sort of scenic area at the minute is the grassy area above and in front of the tunnel mouths. Is that based on something real, or is that
Yes, that's based on the tunnels at Potter's Bar and Hadley Wood.
Right.
Just because I thought it lended itself to be an end of a layout.
Yeah.
And then looking for a station which was a later addition, actually. It wasn't originally going to be a station, but I wanted something to add a bit more interest than just 4 long straight lines.
Yeah.
So, and Thirsk lended itself to that. I've got no attachment, say, to Thirsk, other than the fact it is a very nice little station plonked right in the middle of the East Coast Main Line.
Okay, I was wondering what your attachment to Thirsk was, but now we know there isn't one.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
It's just modelable.
It's modelable. Modelable's a great word. But yeah, so your story is a blend of fact and imagination. Then it's
absolutely, yeah.
Bits of realism,
elements. So the inspiration has been taken from the East Coast Main Line to create an East Coast Main Line themed layout.
If you weren't modelling the East Coast Main Line, what would you be modelling?
I would probably, this is going to be really off tangent, but I'd probably model the Glacier Express in Switzerland. I've always liked...
There's an answer I wasn't expecting.
Well, there you go.
There must be a story around this.
Well, obviously, I've travelled on it, and it's absolutely stunning. But I like the idea that most of the model railways you see in the UK, particularly, are usually tabletop based. But I always like the idea that the Glacier Express is usually on the side of a mountain, particularly in the bits you'd want to model. Single track, but you could model a layout which was relatively thin but tall. So almost like a giant picture on the wall, as opposed to a big flat table. So I've always liked the idea of sort of modelling a mountainside with just a railway snaking around it.
That's cool.
Very different. And I see examples of it from time to time on the continent, and you just think, oh.
Yeah. I've got so many ideas of stories in my head that I would love to replicate in a layout. I just don't have the space, the time, or the finances in which to do it. But
another one is the Festiniog. So probably our own version, but you could probably do the same with that actually. And I think the Bachmann narrow gauge range lends itself very well to creating a layout based on the range they released.
Yeah. I mean, I think for me, I spoke in the last episode of a fictional version of Cheadle Station. That would be cool. I quite like a more rural line.
Less is more.
Yeah, I like a single car diesel. I like a 2-car DMU. I like that. It's just something. There's something very. I want to say there's something very British about that, and I don't know whether there is, but it just feels rural Britain. I stayed at the name is gonna slip me now. Don't,
because the audience are putting in names here.
Stringfellows? No, not that one. Gromont. Thank you. Oh, it came back to me. Just the nick of time. I stayed in Gromont on the North Yorkshire Moors Railway last year. So my parents had booked they wanted to go on a few days holiday. Very, very clever. But they also wanted me and obviously my son, their grandchild, to come up. So they booked themselves into the station master's house at Gromont Station.
Oh, very nice.
You can stay there. And what a fabulous part of the world to model that would be as well. And there's plenty of interest because Gromont has got its It's yard just down the road from the station. It's picturesque. It's a small English village, but at the same time, right next to it, there was a mainline station as well with single car diesels coming through there. And it's like, yeah, that would be a great place to model.
I'm still surprised people don't model Hogsmeade more.
Yeah, why do you think that is?
I'm not sure. I mean, obviously Hogsmeade is the Harry Potter station, but
do you think it's because of that they don't model it?
It might be. But you get you can get the set of buildings and all sorts, and you think the North Yorkshire Moors as a railway is stunning.
Maybe it's because people that would be interested in creating something that is from Harry Potter might be more imaginative in character, and therefore maybe you're not the kind of people that would want to buy stuff off the shelf to put on a layout.
Potentially.
Do you see what I mean by that?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Maybe I'm thinking a bit too deeply about that, but maybe that's why. Or maybe people do model it a lot at home and just don't tell the rest of the world about it.
I suppose there's a wider point of why don't people model heritage lines more as heritage lines?
Yes. Yeah. So if people are going to model a heritage line, they'll do it as it was
when in service, as opposed to
yeah,
with the sort of
which is interesting in itself. Yeah, I mean, obviously you've got your heritage line, but you don't see many other layouts out there that are here's a representation of a heritage line as it is today. That'd be interesting. And again, like I said, there's some crackers around where I live, and Churnet Valley has got this wonderful part by the Caldon Canal that basically there's a pub, the Black Lion at Consul Forge, I think it is. That the pub is in the middle of nowhere. There's no the only road to it doesn't actually go to the pub. It goes to a car park across the railway line, across a canal, and then you're in the car park. And that road is a rutted road for about a mile, and you can drive down there, park up, go to the pub. But to go to the pub, you go over the canal and then over the railway line, which is the Churnet Valley Railway. So we did it last summer, and we sat there in the pub garden. I was having a lovely...
have a drinking game here. The amount of times you said pub.
Yes.
It's great.
It's because it's this time of night I really want a beer.
You want a pub?
But I sat there having a nice pale ale in the sun, watching the steam trains go by, and they are feet in front of you whilst you sat in the pub garden. And that would be a fantastic model as well of a modern day scene at a heritage railway. Yeah, maybe I should build that sometime.
A pub,
yeah.
I see where you're going with that.
No, I don't want a model beer because it's not big enough.
Tiny little thimble of ale.
But no, it is a beautiful scene. And if any of you are ever in the Staffordshire area, then go to Consul, go to the Black Lion. Just keep following the signs, and whenever you think the road has got too rough, just keep going. That means you're getting close. And it's wonderful when you're there. If the weather's right, yeah, it's fantastic. There's always barges there, and there's a river there as well. So river meets the canal, and then it's just beautiful.
So to model that would really tick a box for you in terms of the story of your happy memory of said afternoon. Yeah, we had my little boy with us, and it was one of the first times he really sort of paid attention to a train going past, and the sun was out. And I've got some beautiful video footage of
of the steam catching in the sunlight, and yeah, it was just brilliant. It was super. And so the story for me there is, like you say, it's about the memory, and maybe that comes back to what we said before. The story is about the memory.
And for some reason, the railways in general do seem to capture people's imagination, and they do seem to encourage happy memories.
Yeah, they do. They do. I mean, I'm sure, if you speak to somebody who has been a commuter for 20, 30 years, then they might have slightly different opinions on the railways. But for most of us, it's they're akin in some ways to aeroplanes, I think. And I think plane spotting is becoming more of a thing these days. I don't know if you've seen any of these live streaming YouTube channels, like
the ones where they watch the sort of radar trackers and.
They're cameras that are set up next to runways of major UK airports. So the one that gets recommended to me a lot is Airliners TV, which is for Manchester Airport.
Oh wow!
And it's a group of guys that are actually, I say guys and girls, that are live streaming incoming and outgoing aircraft. But they've got a real community around it, and it's awesome. Sometimes I just put it on in the background whilst I'm working. But yeah, and then there's all these flight radar apps and stuff like that you can. And it's like when I was on my way over here today, and you messaged me and said, well, I'm going to be there at this time, and I was running a bit early. I was on the A50 at the time, just about to pass East Midlands Airport. So I thought, I'll go park up next to the runway for a few minutes. And
they've got a bar.
You're going to give me a reputation, Richard. Please.
I think you're giving it out yourself.
Yeah, maybe. But I just went and sat at the end of the runway and watched a couple of planes come and go. So I think when they are big machines that tend to take us places where we want to go, then they gain a special place in our heart.
Isn't it anything that supports life, i.e. gives heat or convenience, that kind of thing, you then refer to as a she? So like you refer to a ship as a she.
Yeah.
Same way as you can refer to an engine as she, or in theory a plane.
Yeah, I did.
I wonder if that is the same sort of endearment. Maybe.
I think there is a school of thought that actually that was a thing in history about possession and females being possessions.
Oh.
But I much prefer your take on that.
My modern PC approach to these things.
I much prefer your approach to that. That's good. But yeah, I think there is a nostalgia to things that enable us to have fun and enable good memories.
Which is what a good hobby's all about.
That's what a good hobby's all about, but also it's what the good real thing's all about as well. So yeah, but the creating the story around a layout is about that inspiration in the first place, isn't it?
You've got to be inspired to be able to recreate it.
Yeah. So where do you go for inspiration?
Well, I'm quite lucky because I take from the East Coast Main Line. That literally runs up the right hand side of the country, all the way up to Edinburgh. So, in theory, partly is obviously because of my nostalgic memories of the East Coast, but then the other reason is it also gives me an excuse to be able to run pretty much anything on my layout. So it sort of ticks a lot of boxes. And the more boxes I can tick, the more convinced I am, or was, to do it. And you see a lot of West Coast Main Lines layouts at the moment. I mean, I know there's Making Tracks, which is obviously all West Coast Main Line, but you generally see more of those than East Coast.
I wonder if that's
It's not for the lack of stock. Might be because of the lack of catenary on off-the-shelf market.
Yes, and is there maybe some more unique stock on the West Coast?
Potentially. No, I'd say it's even. So for everything there's unique on the West Coast, it's the same on the East Coast.
Yeah.
And the West Coast come across to the East Coast sometimes when there's diversions and stuff. So
Yeah, of course, yeah. I don't know why that is. I don't know. But yeah, the East Coast doesn't seem to get as much love as the West Coast. I don't have any affinity with the East Coast at all.
no one's perfect.
I think I've only ever been on it once. Sheffield to Newcastle, I think. But obviously where I live, I'm much closer to the West Coast. If I was going into London, it would be I'd drive down to Stafford and get a train from there, so West Coast. But also I grew up with the Great Eastern Main Line. So, your Norwich to Liverpool Street run. So I don't have any affinity with the East Coast. But let's say you were building a section of your layout and you wanted to be inspired. Is it going to shows? Is it opening up a magazine? Is it going to be looking at real life stuff? When you're coming up with an idea for a new section, where's it coming from?
For me, one advantage to sort of plucking East Coast Mainline is you've got the entire line to pick from. So first step for me is usually Google Earth.
Or is it Google Maps?
Did we discover?
We didn't. We completely forgot. Yeah. Ooh. If you heard that in the background, that was me almost tipping over Richard's first class seats. But never mind. I didn't manage it.
No, so I'd start with finding a prototype that fit in real life and go from there. And that's where you sort of build up the research, and then you can build up the techniques to be able to model said location. And that's where you'd look at other people's layouts for tips and advice and whatnot. And then, of course, like you say, shows is a very good one because you can physically not only see these models in reality, but you can also talk to the people who usually have built them.
Yeah.
And you get some absolutely top tips. Some blaringly simple, but you think, I'd have never worked that out.
Yeah. I think realism is important for building the story. And I don't mean going back to our previous conversation about the pursuit of detail or anything like that. I just mean that I think realism is important to the inspiration. And the reason I say that is, as you know, I'm currently doing this £100 layout project. And the thing that I've struggled with the most is building the story. Because I'm restricted by certain rules and things that I have to do and can't do, and because I was seeking out the cheapest loco and rolling stock, it meant that I've ended up with something that is not really realistic to anything.
Well, I suppose your goal's been to be under £100. It's not been to create Cheadle for under £100.
No, it's not. Which is good, but at the same time, it's meant that I don't have the same level of inspiration because I haven't got the same things to work from. I haven't got the same reference points. That's the term I was looking for. I haven't got the same reference points. I'm literally having to go, okay, I've got this track, I've got this loco, this rolling stock, I've got a palette. Now what do I do? And I'm lucky then that the people in the comments and the the people that have sent me emails have given some great inspiration to turn it into something with a bit of a story. But that has been a real challenge for me. He's going, okay, no reference points. What am I going to do?
And I suppose a lot of people as well who do create a real scene as they knew it or remembered it. I wonder if a lot of these historic places probably don't have as many photographs as a place would now. So you could argue, is that their way of preserving that memory?
Yeah, for sure.
Which is, especially when you're really at the peak of your game in model making, you can get some. It'd be better than photos.
Yeah, that's very, very true, and maybe that's why. Maybe that's why I would also like to model the Great Eastern Main Line as well, and in a homage to toothpaste, which I can't remember if I said this on podcast 2 or whether I said this to you off recording. I can't remember which parts of our conversation has been recorded and which parts haven't. But it's 40 years next year since Network Southeast became a thing.
Blimey.
So it's almost as old as me, but not quite. So there you go. It's giving my age away. You probably all thought I was about 60.
60?
If you've met me.
That's just the stress.
I was pretty much bald at 21, so yeah, you're a lucky man with your full head of hair.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm lucky to be tall, that's all I'm saying. I can't see the bald patch.
Yeah.
But nostalgia is naturally usually it's a good memory, or good memories, which again is a happy thing, a good thing, and a positive of this hobby.
If you were to start New Junction again tomorrow, New Junction 3, would you draw it all out, plan it all out first, or
No. I'm too impatient to start with, but I'm always one of these who likes to get a box of track and, as I would say, feel it out. So start putting the track on the baseboard and then seeing where it goes.
And then fettle.
A lot of fettling.
I learnt the term fettling from you, I think. I don't think I'd ever heard it before. Yeah.
Tweaking.
Whereas, you see, I think I like to draw it out first, plan it out to a certain extent, and then when I start laying it, completely ignore those plans and do something different. But there is some interest in that research phase and the ideas phase, and man, I wish I could model all day every day. Do you know what I mean? It's just...
See, I had an uncle who unfortunately isn't with us anymore, but he's the reason I got into model railways, funnily enough, when I was younger as well. And he had a loft layout, which was just a sort of probably 6x6 type circle, enough for double track. And every time we visited, as I was growing up, it would be ripped up again, and he would be in the planning phase. He'd be drawing things out on paper, and I think I just rush through the putting track down phase. Get trains running is the goal. Don't stop on day one until trains are running. And I think that's because of him. Bless him, because he never used to get to that point. And by the time we'd lay the track down every visit, obviously it was time to go home. But
yeah.
So because of his influence, it's get trains running as fast as possible for me.
I wonder how many people lay a track and then design a story around it, and how many people design a story and then lay a track around it. Because there is there's a real challenge to already having the story and then laying the track around it, because as we know, there are limitations to what you can do with model track.
Well, this is the ultimate art of compromise.
Yeah,
ultimately. And that'd be a very good question for our listeners. If anyone wants to comment underneath the video, underneath the podcast, let us know how you do it.
Yeah, and what your inspirations are as well. It's maybe there's some books out there, some guidance out there that we've never thought about. Or of course, and I'm amazed you haven't mentioned this, Some of the biggest inspiration you can get these days is from YouTube.
Absolutely. Well, sometimes.
I was somewhat inspired by New Junction. Somewhat.
Who?
A little bit more inspired by Everard Junction.
Well, absolutely.
Yeah, he was essentially modelling my childhood. So there's a difference there. Yeah, inspiration there, and of course magazines as well. I think a hobby like this, magazines will survive longer than they will do in many other spaces.
Absolutely.
Because we need the pictures, we need the...
Even if that's in digital form.
Yeah. But I don't see that happening for a while yet. There's still enough of a market out there for the printed magazine in our space, I think.
I think another thing as well, there's lots of historical photos where people have captured a train here, there and everywhere, and that's sort of all that remains of that period in time.
Yes.
Because this was obviously before smartphones and everyone having a camera in their pocket, taking a photo of everything. So more often than not, a train was a reason to get the camera out.
Yes.
So I suppose the happy memories of days of old are usually captured around trains.
Yeah. So true. And yeah, the inspiration is everywhere. It's all around us. You just got to see it, which is easier said than done, isn't it?
Well, you can see with my efforts trying to recreate the East Coast Main Line. Things you can do with some plastic cloth.
Hey, nothing wrong with a bit of plastic
I never
cloth.
said there was.
Where did you get it from, by the way?
At rail-stuff.com.
Did you? £2.50 a roll or £5 for £10.
Is it?
Good deal, that.
Is it still?
Yes, it is, yeah.
Blimey.
Yeah.
Beat the rush.
I don't think there's any single rolls left at the moment. It's just 5-packs, but yeah, the 5-pack's the best value anyway.
I appreciate the upselling.
Indeed, yeah.
We've all got to keep the lights on. It's fine.
If you do need a single roll, then let me know. I can always break a 5-pack somewhere.
You can buy a 5-pack and we'll give you one.
Yeah, exactly. But the story's important. I've always said it. Without the scenics, there is no story. Without a story, it is just track on a bit of wood. Which, by the way, if that's what you're into, fine, go for it. Like we said in the last episode, do what you want. But for me, the excitement comes from the story that you create around that layout, and
particularly the memory.
Yeah,
that's always interesting to see because you can visualize someone's memory of a previous time in life.
Yeah. Fascinating, actually.
This gets quite deep, this podcast.
It does. Shall I lighten the mood?
Well, I would. Is it that time already?
Pretty much, yeah.
Deary me. Haven't they suffered enough?
I'm not sure whether... Have I closed it again or have I got to reopen it again? See, right. We will... I would say we'll be more prepared, but we probably won't.
I changed the habit of a lifetime.
Yeah, exactly. Oh no, I read that one to myself earlier and thought, oh my God, no, I can't read that one out loud.
Family show.
Shall I give you a couple of one-liners this time?
As it's episode 3.
Special treat.
Special treat for those who braved 3 lots of this.
Yeah, I mean, I never liked the troll who lives under the local railway bridge. He was my arch enemy. I tell you what I have got though. I've got a couple of buffers going cheap if you want them. It's an end of the line sale.
Ooh.
Oh dear.
I see why she kicked you out.
Yeah, you can see why I'm sat here at 11:30 at night on a Tuesday rather than being at home. Yeah, no, it's I'm sure there must be. Look,
you don't get many invites to parties, do you?
Episode 4 is not being recorded tonight, which means that there is an opportunity for you guys to send in your model railway jokes. Nothing saucy, nothing dirty. Okay.
Send them in.
Nothing saucy will get read out. Nothing.
Hold up. Well, I suppose where we will be for podcast 4, we'll have to be slightly reverent.
We will indeed. And are we going to tell people what we're doing?
Yeah, why not?
Okay, so
they've got this far.
So episode 4 is called The Road Trip.
Boom. We wanted to end on a high because this is a pilot little mini-series of a podcast. Something, well, I've never done before and something you've done before, but this is...
I've never done it quite like this before.
Well, what, so unprofessionally? No, we wanted to end on a high, particularly if it doesn't go any further.
Yes. So what are we doing?
We're going to Chester Cathedral and making tracks, and we're going to record it live while we're there, which is probably a really silly idea, but I'm really excited for it, actually.
It'll be good. And hopefully there might be a few people around from the Rail Nuts team that we can have a chat with.
Absolutely. They're normally there.
They're normally there, so we'll have a little chat with a couple of folk there. I haven't
experienced the event. It's probably the most positive thing that's happened to the hobby in recent years, actually.
Yeah, do you know what? And I was thinking, you know, it is an inspirational layout to see, and it's a
inspirational yet still achievable. Is the level they model at, I think.
It's inspirational and aspirational as well.
They're also telling the story of obviously the West Coast Main Line. I mean, no one's perfect, but they had to model somewhere. The East Coast was already done to such a high standard by someone.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, although taking their time about it. Yeah, making tracks has been a phenomenal story for model railway as a hobby, but also there must be burgeoning groups of model railway fans in Chester now, because year after year Chester gets treated to this absolute peach of a layout.
It's rumoured as well to be the last one in Chester Cathedral.
In Chester Cathedral, right?
For now, yeah.
Because they do the winter one as well, don't they? At
Blakemere,
that's
yeah.
it.
They're also doing one in, I think, Aberystwyth this year as well, as we're talking.
Oh, okay.
But watch this space for details. But no, I think the Chester, which is the whole point of building the layout, is to raise money for the cathedral.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, it raises a phenomenal amount for the cathedral because it brings in so many more people.
Yeah.
And I mean, you'll see when you go, there's signs about that says this building costs something like £5,000 a day to be open.
Jeez.
But then it's such a massive building, you can understand why. But yeah, that is it was previously the best event they had, mainly because it's on for so long. But
I used to travel to Chester on an almost daily basis because I spent about 2 years working in Chester, but I never went to the cathedral, so be interesting.
You're about to.
Yeah, and it is a road trip, so we'll be bringing another feature to this episode for episode 4, and Richard is staring at me blankly because I've just come up with this. But
you going off piste again?
Yes. So it's a road trip, and what do all road trips need?
Briefings before we start going down off tangents.
What do all good road trips need?
I'm trying to think of something that's appropriate for this podcast.
I'm trying to think of something that would be inappropriate. What do you do on a road trip?
I'm trying to think what you do on a road trip.
Okay. All good road trips need 2 things.
Put me out of my misery.
One is good music.
Oh.
But obviously we can't share that with the audience. The other thing that a road trip needs is good snacks. So, sir, I shall provide the snackage. And on the way, I'll dig out the microphone, and the first part of the episode will be us on the road, you sampling this snackage that I bring you.
This could be interesting for a non-visual podcast.
It could be
What's
interesting.
Richard put in his mouth?
It could be. Let's not go there. It could be interesting just for us and for nobody else. But I'll bring some. I'll bring some snacks for the trip. So is it about? So you're coming to pick me up.
Yeah.
And it's about an hour and a half from here to mine.
Yeah.
And then it's about another hour and a half from mine to Chester. So
I didn't know that one I offered.
Well, how long does it normally take you to get to Chester?
2.5 hours.
Okay, so there's little savings in.
One
there
of us
somewhere.
isn't following the road signs of speed limits.
That would be you then. Yeah, but we discussed that earlier, didn't we? Yes. Anyway, so that brings us to the end of episode 3.
I can't believe it already.
I know, so quick. It's almost like it all happened in one night. But next time we are going to hit the road and go on that trip to Chester.
Hopefully ending on a high.
Yes. And if there's anything that you want us to have a look at whilst we're there and feed back to you on, then let us know.
Any questions, any statements about making tracks? We'd love to hear it because we'll include it.
Absolutely, we will, as long as it's polite. Otherwise, we won't get invited back. But yeah, it'll be really interesting. I've wanted to go over there ever since they started doing this. So,
and just to whet your appetite, Chester, this is the cathedral themselves, have up their game this year. So they have a refectory, I think that's the word, a cafe basically. But this year they have a pop-up cafe that sells pizzas in front of the railway.
that's lunch sorted. So we've got snacks on the way, lunch sorted, and then we'll make some kind of snack stop on the way back.
There's a really good pub opposite the car park at the back of the cathedral.
There's plenty of good pubs in Chester. It's good. It's good. Or maybe we'll stop off in Stoke on the way back, and I'll take you to a pub in Stoke. That'll scare you.
We'll end the series on a high or in a custody suite. One of them.
Never mind. Anyway, it's been fantastic talking about stories and storytelling. Another interesting chat with you. I suppose we should probably wrap this one up and start planning our road trip.
Absolutely, and it'd be remiss of us to forget to thank our sponsor once again, which is obviously Accurascale.
Indeed.
For stepping up and sponsoring a Glass Half Full podcast.
Absolutely. That's what we should have called it.
Glass Half Full.
Yeah, I never found the list, did I, of other names? All right, episode 4, whilst we're eating snacks, I'll tell you about the other names that AI came up with for what this podcast could be called. A lot of them involved the word banter, which was interesting.
Bants.
Yeah, there were a few that were bants, spelt with a Z as well.
Ugh.
I know. So
I'd turn
ChatGPT
off.
is not all it's cracked up to be. But
I like junctions and stuff. That works really well.
That was my own brain. That one. It's my own brain. Do you know how I came up with it?
Because I'm New Junction and you're rail stuff.
Yeah, and I thought New Rail was a bit rubbish.
Putting the junk back in New Junction.
It never came out. Oh dear. Never mind. Anyway, thank you so much for listening once again, and look forward to being back again soon.
We'll see you soon.
Bye.